Welcome to Space Nexus. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Something deeply unsettling is unfolding across China, a sense of unease that's impossible to ignore. Ordinary people are feeling the weight of a crisis that's growing more severe by the day. For decades, China's economic engine roared, transforming skylines overnight and lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty. The world watched in awe as cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen became symbols of unstoppable progress. But now, that once miraculous story is sputtering to a halt. Empty construction sites and shuttered factories tell a new, much darker tale, one of uncertainty and decline. As we stand in late 2025, the Chinese economy is grappling with deflation, a spiraling housing crisis, and a mountain of unpayable debt. Ghost cities sprawl across the landscape, and protests over lost savings are becoming more common. Under Xi Jinping's tightening grip, state control is suffocating innovation, dissent is swiftly crushed, and basic human rights are eroding at an alarming pace. This isn't just a rough patch for a distant superpower, it's a crisis that's trapping 1.4 billion people in a web of anxiety and hardship. Young graduates are struggling to find work, entrepreneurs are watching their dreams collapse, and ethnic minorities like the Uyghurs face relentless persecution and surveillance. The tremors from China's troubles are being felt around the globe, shaking the foundations of international supply chains and sending shockwaves through the geopolitical order. What happens in China doesn't stay in China. Its economic health or lack thereof ripples outward, affecting businesses, governments, and families everywhere. Tonight, we'll unravel how China reached this critical point, explore the forces at play right now, and explain why this matters to every one of us no matter where we live. The dragon is sick, and its symptoms, economic, social, and political, are too glaring to ignore any longer. Understanding this unfolding story isn't just important, it's essential for anyone who wants to grasp the future of our interconnected world. To truly understand the roots of China's current crisis, we need to rewind to its so-called golden age, a period that dazzled the world and transformed the nation almost overnight. For years, China's economic growth was nothing short of legendary. Towering cities seemed to rise from empty fields in the blink of an eye. Millions of people escaped poverty, and a vast new middle class emerged, eager to spend and dream bigger than ever before. The unspoken deal was simple: prosperity in exchange for political silence. As long as living standards improved, most people accepted the party's tight control. But beneath the glittering skyline, this so-called miracle was built on a mountain of debt, one that kept growing, year after year. Local governments and property developers borrowed recklessly, convinced that property values would always climb. They poured money into ever more ambitious projects, fueling a frenzy of construction and speculation. Today, China's total credit has soared to more than 300% of GDP, a staggering figure that signals just how much the country has relied on borrowed money to keep the engine running. The entire system depended on endless growth and unshakable optimism. As long as people believed the boom would never end, the cycle continued. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping tightened the party's grip on society, replacing the relative openness of earlier years with strict ideological control and pervasive surveillance. The economic miracle was always conditional: prosperity, but only under the watchful eye of the party. Dissent was not tolerated, and loyalty was demanded. Now, as cracks appear in the system, that control is being tested. Protests and frustration are growing, especially among those who invested their savings in promised homes that may never be finished. The Golden Age wasn't about freedom. It was about building a wealthier, more tightly managed nation, where the party's authority was never in question. But now, that model is unraveling. The old formula of debt-fueled growth and strict control is no longer delivering the same results. The consequences of a decade of debt-fueled dreams are coming due, and the world is watching to see what happens next. The old social contract is gone. In its place, a new era of control has emerged, where once there was a tacit understanding between the people and the party, prosperity in exchange for political silence. Now, even that fragile bargain has vanished. Under Xi Jinping, China has imposed a sweeping gag order on its citizens. The boundaries of acceptable speech have narrowed dramatically, and the consequences for crossing them have never been more severe. Censorship and surveillance are now total. Every street corner, every online conversation, every classroom is monitored. The state's digital eyes and ears are everywhere, creating a climate of constant fear and self-censorship. The Great Firewall doesn't just block Western media, it targets any platform, app, or website that might challenge the party's narrative. Social media posts vanish in seconds, and entire online communities are erased overnight if they stray too far from the official line. Journalists are expected to be loyal propagandists. Truth is what the party says. Independent reporting is not just discouraged, it's criminalized. Newsrooms operate under strict directives, and editors know that a single misstep can end careers, or worse. Dissent is crushed. Even experts who criticize economic policy disappear. Academics, business leaders, and even former party officials have been silenced, detained, or forced into public confessions. The message is clear: no dissent, no matter who you are. Loyalty is demanded, and fear is the tool used to enforce it. The state's reach extends globally, harassing critics abroad and intimidating activists. Chinese embassies monitor overseas communities, and families back home are threatened if someone speaks out. Even outside China, you're never free from its watchful eye. Dissidents in exile live with the constant anxiety of surveillance, knowing that their actions are tracked and their loved ones are vulnerable. Laws like the expanded state secrets law make it easy to imprison anyone sharing sensitive information. Vague definitions mean almost any criticism can be labeled a threat to national security. Citizen journalists who exposed COVID's early days, like Zhang Zhan, are jailed and rearrested. Their courage is met with harsh sentences, solitary confinement, and relentless pressure to recant. The Great Wall of Silence isn't just about blocking websites, it's about breaking spirits. It's about making people doubt their own memories, their own voices, and their ability to change anything. The party would rather maintain the illusion of control than face uncomfortable truths. Questions are met with stone walls, and transparency is replaced by secrecy. In Xi's China, silence is enforced at all costs. The threat of punishment hangs over every conversation, every post, every gathering. The cost is paid by anyone who dares to speak. In this new era, the price of truth is higher than ever, and the silence more deafening. Real estate was once China's economic engine and the middle class's main investment. People poured savings into apartments, fueling a construction boom. Now the bubble has burst. Developers like Evergrande have defaulted, leaving ghost cities and unfinished homes. Millions are left with worthless mortgages and shattered confidence. Local governments, once funded by land sales, are broke and can't provide basic services. Banks are exposed to mountains of bad loans. Related industries are collapsing, with tragic consequences for entrepreneurs. The government's response: slow walk the collapse, fearing unrest. But by refusing to confront the crisis, they're turning a sharp shock into a chronic disease. The rot is spreading deeper into the economy. As the economy falters, repression intensifies. In Xinjiang, Uyghurs face mass detention, torture, forced labor, and cultural erasure. The UN confirms the legal framework for these abuses remains. In Hong Kong, new security laws have ended the city's freedoms. Hundreds have been jailed for peaceful dissent. Human rights defenders, lawyers, and journalists are harassed and imprisoned. Even religion is forced to conform to party ideology, with leaders arrested and the Vatican pressured. The message: there is no God but the Communist Party, and Xi is its prophet. Dissent is met with relentless punishment. The despair of China's youth is a warning sign. After years of pressure and study, millions of graduates find no jobs. Youth unemployment is so dire, the government stopped publishing the data. Involution sums up their hopelessness. Endless competition, no reward. Many opt out, lying flat, instead of chasing impossible dreams. The party's response: lectures and pressure to marry, not real solutions. A generation with nothing left to lose is a threat to any regime. As domestic problems grow, China turns outward, more aggressive, more confrontational. In 2024, Xi stood with Putin and Kim Jong-un, signaling a new axis of autocracies. China tacitly supports Russia's war, undermines global norms, and spreads disinformation. Nationalism is stoked to distract from internal failures. State media pushes a narrative of Western decline and Chinese ascendancy. History is rewritten to place the party at the center of China's story. Under Xi, China defines its own reality at home and abroad. The world must deal with the consequences. Getting a clear picture of China's economy is tough. Data is unreliable, and experts disagree. Some say the housing bust is the biggest drag, and only bold stimulus can help. Others see a dual reality, a sluggish macroeconomy alongside a hyper-competitive tech sector. But confidence is the core problem. Businesses are afraid to invest, and private credit is shrinking. The government's slow response only prolongs the pain. On human rights, the consensus is bleak. Repression is intensifying, civil society's gone. New security laws, ongoing abuses in Xinjiang, and mass arrests in Hong Kong show things are getting worse. There's no thaw in sight. The winter is deepening. You might think this is just China's problem, but it's not. A prolonged slump means weaker global growth, disrupted supply chains, and financial instability. A more repressive China is a more unpredictable, dangerous China. Most importantly, this is a human story. 1.4 billion people's rights and dreams are being crushed. Don't look away. To ignore it is to be complicit. Stay informed, seek out independent journalism and human rights reports. Share what you learn. Shining a light is powerful. Be a conscious consumer, ask about supply chains, push for laws against forced labor, urge your leaders to speak out and support targeted sanctions. This isn't about being anti-China, it's about standing for human rights. Stand in solidarity with the Chinese people.